We're gonna be jumping in. It's a funeral here at the Babuka household. It's a sad day to be a Bayern fan. That's what I'm.
That's why I'm wearing PSG.
I can't even finish the intro without PSG jumping all in. But I think that's kind of summarized the game up as well. Bayern trying to say a couple of things and PSG just being all over them. But the game ended 1-1. But on aggregate, PSG goes forward and finds their way to another Champions League finale, this time against Arsenal. So we'll see how they go, how that game matches up. But I did want to throw it out to you guys, what you guys thought of the game today, the PSG Bayern game, which was pretty depressing to see for as a Bayern perspective. But overall, for a game being 1-1, it was actually pretty entertaining. But what did you guys think of the game?
It was entertaining. I don't know about entertaining. It
was intense, I thought. It wasn't like there was not a lot of quality, but it was like
it was a lot of Bayern being desperate.
Yeah,
because they were already down one, and then 2 minutes into the game, you're down 2 goals, and they just never recovered. Player of the game that I thought had to have a lot in the cookie jar, like I said, was Harry Kane. He had a horrible game until he scored in the 99th minute, whenever it was.
Yeah,
94.
Yeah. So game was over. Right? That goal was a little pointless, but I mean, he got his, 12th goal in 10 games?
No, it was 14 goals in 13 matches, so it went to 15.
Yeah. So, too little, too late. But everybody on Bayern just had a horrible, horrible day. But we found that after talking about it and looking back that, Luis Enrique is just pretty much outcoached Vincent Kompany with moving people around, with subbing in. Vincent Kompany, I feel he just was like, well, let's just keep everybody out there, see what happens. And then it got to the 84th minute. He finally made a change, and it was just like a pointless substitutions.
I almost felt like Vincent Kompany coached this game like a Premier League coach. Like Premier League coaches sometimes, like from my perspective, when I watch the Premier League, sometimes I feel like they hold their players out there a little too long. Remember we used to have that same complaint against Pep, where like Pep makes subs earlier. And
yeah, we're thinking 72nd minute, come on, and they would not come until like the 84th.
Yeah, Pep. A lot of the Premier League teams, I feel like, always don't sub on right away. Like there was a time that we were watching a game, and me and Jazz were like, okay, if you're gonna do it now. Okay, if you're gonna do it now. Every 10 minutes, we're like, okay, like, but I don't see anybody warming up. I don't see anybody like, okay, Vincent Kompany's looking at his bench like, all right, let's get a different perspective out there. And he never did. And I thought that Luis, I didn't think PSG played very like amazing, but I thought Luis made the right subs at the right times where it's like, oh, those subs make sense. Like, I get people being like, oh my God, he's pulling out Dembele in I think it was like the 50-something minute. And they're like, that's so early. And it's like, yeah, but he rotated players around. And like his subs all made sense. Where you're like, okay, Bradley's coming in. Okay, that's good for Bradley because now he'll have space. If he would have played with Dembele, I felt like they would have constantly not been able to get that movement. But with Dembele being out there, Kava and Bradley were the ones that were able to run forward. And Emery was able to move from his spot in the midfield to come up a little bit to help Doué as well. So those substitutions were really great. But it's not that the substitutions were great. It's that whenever he made subs, he moved players around to fit the people out there. Like, what did you think, Jazz, like, of Luis Enrique's game plan and stuff for PSG?
I think Luis Enrique, he's really, really smart when it comes to making his decisions on subs. I mean, from what we saw on the game, he was just the way that he moved players around, because he knew he had to if he didn't want to get caught against Bayern. You had Barcola sub in, then you had there was like 2 other subs I did, which made sense because of, like certain maybe mistakes that could have led to a goal. And I think Luis Enrique is just on a higher level.
Oh yeah. Who did you?
Well, he's been there before and he's won it before, so he knows what it takes.
Yeah, he has a little bit like you can feel that like he already saw the game before it played out. Like he walked in there like he almost knew exactly the way they were going to play. I mean, you have to think he watched that game, that first leg, and was like, oh, this is how I do it. And to me, it felt like Vincent Company. I think it's still like Ralph was saying. I might have said, I might have been too harsh when saying that maybe Vincent Company shouldn't be coaching this Bayern team. But like to me, it felt like he didn't do his homework. But I also agree with Ralph saying that like, okay, but this is his first time. Like you can't just throw away. You can't throw away all the hard work he's done all year off of 2 games that he just got outcoached by one of the best coaches in the world. Period. You know, like people have those moments, and maybe this will be the thing that will propel Vincent Company to fix some of his mistakes. And then when he does get to the Champions League finale again, he won't make those mistakes, and he will sub earlier and have a better game plan against a team like PSG.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have lost to like a Bodo Glimt, you know, a small time team or somebody that didn't have a world class coach, I'd be like, okay, yeah, we need to question him. But he has the talent. They can usually figure it out. I mean, they had plus 89 goals in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
So it's not that they didn't have the talent, but usually we can see if this guy's not working, this guy is going to do something, or this guy. We always talked about how many weapons they had.
Yeah.
All their weapons had no ammo in it today. Nobody, like Harry Kane.
Maybe
like you
only
said.
Luis Diaz. I think Luis Diaz was like the only one that had.
Yeah,
the
but
ammo.
even him, he had a lot of plays where he didn't finish. He could have shot. His passes were off. They were intercepted. Like everything that goes right was going wrong today. So, Chuck said, Harry Kane for some reason was playing so far up towards midfield that even if he received the ball there, he's not fast enough to turn around and beat the guy and go score. So why have him up there?
Yeah.
You know, put somebody else there and have Harry play an actual 9.
Yeah.
Where he's playing closer to goal. And I just thought the biggest mistake was just not making subs. We're talking about it. Okay, 60th minute. Because it's not like, okay, PSG scored in the 70th minute, so now we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
No, you were down 2 goals in the 2nd minute.
Yeah.
If for the rest of that first half you can't score, you've got to look at changes and who's going to help you figure this out. And then here come the 60th minute. We looked at each other. We're like, well, nothing's happening. I'm like, don't worry, 72nd minute, it's got to happen. Like, he's warming up. Somebody's warming up. It still didn't happen. Like, 80th minute, it's hard to get 2 goals.
We got Davies in, and we got who else did we get? We got like 2 Kim Min Jae.
Kim and Jae.
Yeah, so like he went defense. It's like you're not up 2 goals, you're down 2 goals. Like, why bring Kim Min Jae and Davies? I understand Davies a little bit more than Kim Min Jae, but like you pulled out Ta. You didn't even pull out Open Meccano. So like,
who was probably the one with the less legs.
One was more tired. And like, I think the biggest thing for me, I don't know if Jazz will agree, but it almost felt like Vincent Kompany drained all of his best weapons that he should have had, like should have kept him closer to his chest. Like Upamecano, legs gas. Harry Kane, get legs gas. Like Luis and Elise didn't get enough on it because they were like, okay, they're doing things that outside of their norm, but killing Upamecano and Harry Kane's legs, I think was such a big thing in the game. Like, he made both of those players, and it's not just Vincent Kompany. Luis Enrique, it almost like he set up to drain those 2 guys because he knew Upamecano leads that defense and Harry Kane leads the offense. If you neutralize your 2 leaders of both sides of it, then where are they going to go? And like Kimmich and Pavlovic should have taken more responsibility, but they were getting hounded. I didn't even notice it until, Henri was saying Emery wasn't even playing as a winger. He went all the way back to overload the midfield. So there's 4 midfielders. So that's why I was saying, me and Jazz were saying like, oh yeah, Kimmich is so good and Pavlovic is all right. But it didn't look like Kimmich was doing anything because the midfield was so loaded that it looked like you couldn't do anything because they were like stuffing it in.
And that's why Neuer was trying to kick the ball over
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
and
yeah.
get it to Kane. But, like you said, it was too crowded in the middle where they just couldn't play out of it. But, I mean, look at Carl came in. At least I was calling for him since like the 60th minute.
Yeah.
He came in, didn't really touch the ball. Like, they weren't even passing it to him. And the one time he got a shot, like, he was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if he would have done it earlier, he had fresh legs and he's young. He's a kid. And we've seen him make plays, assist. We've seen him score in big games.
Yeah.
So you're not throwing like a 17, 18-year-old kid who hasn't really played for you. He's played for you throughout the season, and he's come up big. Like, he's a superstar.
And if Musiala didn't come back from injury, I don't think Musiala would have started. I think Carl would have found his way to the lineup. Even if he was coming back from injury, I think they would have went with Carl instead.
Yeah, and what that didn't make sense. Like, why sub out Musiala? And that's when the defender came in.
They subbed out Musiala for
Nicholas Jackson.
But like Jackson needs someone to facilitate stuff. So pulling out Musiala to put a guy like Nicholas Jackson is like, wait, you just cut off both your legs. If you want Nicholas Jackson out there for fast breaks, but you need someone to give him those fast breaks. By taking out Musiala, that's the guy that gives the fast breaks. So now, and Carl still hasn't come in at this time.
Right.
So you put Jackson in, but nobody to facilitate that. And Harry Kane's legs are gassed.
Well, what he could have done is he could have put Jackson on the 9 and moved Harry Kane to the 10.
Yeah.
But he still kept Harry Kane up there.
Yeah. So
which
then,
it worked because they got a goal.
Yeah, but that's why he should have been up there from the very beginning of this game.
Yeah.
You killed him by him going all the way back to be like what's the purpose of having Kimmich if you have Harry Kane back there too? So Kimmich is just running back and forth being like, okay. And if you can have Harry receive the ball deep and have Kimmich back, but then he has to play defense. He has to go play where Stanisic is normally, or he needs to go help out where Lemire is all the way up high. So then Kimmich has to drop to a right back position. They just had Kimmich running with Harry, looking back and forth like, what do you want me to do? Like, it looked like Kimmich was neutralized by his own team.
Right.
What'd you see in the game, Jazz, though? Like, what'd you see in the game that you're like, geez, like, there's a problem right there?
For Bayern, I think that they were just like too desperate. Like Olise, usually he plays more calm, and he's more like just somebody who you would expect to drive it down and then give you a clean pass. This game, he was just like, he'd drive it and then he'd shoot even if he didn't have any space. Like, he was desperate for that goal. And so and I think, and from the beginning, me and Chuck were saying you have to take Olise out if you want this to work, because he was not having a good day today.
And he played the whole game. And, yeah, he was over-dribbling. His passes were being intercepted. They were not good passes. His shots, I think he had one good, semi-good shot
The
on.
one that they showed on where he pulled left and hit it.
Yeah, he hit it right over the goal.
In the first half. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was the only one that I was like, held my
that was
breath
the
for
only
a
one.
second. Yeah. What?
No.
Oh, I thought you were saying. I wanted to mention the Jazz though, like, for them they're saying like Elise wasn't that good, but I don't think Nuno Mendes was that good defending him either. I didn't think he was great. I thought Elise, all of his mistakes was him shooting his own foot. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God, look at Nuno Mendes, he's bodying him up. Oh, he's taking the ball away from. It just felt like Nuno Mendes waited for him to make a mistake and was like, all right. And like, one of my favorite things is, and I didn't notice it at the time, but when I was watching the game, your dad's all like, how can it be that Elise gets past Nuno Mendes so easily, and then now Fabian Ruiz is guarding him and he can't get around them? I'm like, what are you talking about, Ralph? And then I started seeing, I was like, holy crap. Luis Enrique completely changed his game plan and was like, oh yeah, like, put Fabian on Elise because Nuno Mendes has a yellow. And I was like, who in the right mind would be like, yeah, go take the midfielder and put him as guarding one of the best offensive players in the entire world and see if he can stop him. But Ruiz is known for stout defense, and being that defensive anchor in the midfield. And he's already like one of the taller guys. So he kind of fits that mold like Nuno Mendes. But he didn't have a yellow at the time. So it fit, like it worked. And like Nuno Mendes was free then. Like he got out of jail free card because he already had a yellow.
That's just great coaching because
he saw it.
He recognized the yellow.
Yeah.
What we were talking about is like, man, you should probably take out Nuno Mendes because he has a yellow.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, he's a great player. Let me
I'm
just
keeping him.
move him.
Yeah.
Put somebody else there. And we talked about Fabian Ruiz before the game when he started. We're like, how is this guy getting the start? And I told you, I said he was the only one
That stopped.
that played defense and actually stopped play because if you're gonna get around him, he's gonna foul you.
Yeah.
And if you would have got a yellow card and he would have kept being close to a second, you could just pull him. Yeah, there's no problem.
And
but
there's nothing changes with the game. You just put another person out.
yeah,
there.
he just do that. But
Yeah.
we got to give a lot of credit to Fabian Ruiz because he did lock down Olise.
Yeah.
He
did.
just couldn't get around them.
Couldn't get around them. Like, you could tell Elise was preparing for Nuno Mendes. Like, he was like, this is the profile I'm going against, so I know what to do. And he beat him in the beginning of the game. And then when he got the yellow card, the game changed because then, and it's crazy because you don't even see I don't even think people understand, like, in basketball, you see a coach being like, you come over here, you, like, coaching, right?
Right.
Luis Enrique is not doing this or putting his hands up.
We don't see it.
I know we don't see it, but like he's not over there like, time out. Okay, come in here. Okay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna change this and this and this. Like in basketball or any type of sport, there's a timeout section. And football, it's constantly going. So even if he's screaming using his hands,
There's gotta
he's on
be
the opposite end of it.
There's got to be a point though where he's got to tell somebody, like maybe his
Yeah, I
captain,
know,
be
but
like,
yeah,
hey, tell him to do this.
But like, how crazy is that the players? To me, what makes it so crazy is that the players just pick
They
it
respond.
up.
They respond
Whatever
to it.
he says, it's go do it. And it's done. It's like they know what the rule book is. They know what it's supposed to be, and they just go and execute it. It's like a machine almost.
Yeah.
Like he just says it and they just do it. Like
Yeah.
anybody else, like if I told Cook, like, I need you to go up there, and they'd be like, what? Like, and then they would look out of place. Fabian Ruiz looks more comfortable being back there. He's never played there before. I'm almost guaranteed I've never seen a PSG game where he's been over there. He literally slotted in there like it was just like his natural position, which is like crazy to me.
Yeah.
But we can't keep going on with this game without talking about some controversies.
Well, controversies and I mean, we talked about every Bayern player and how bad they played or, you know, what their chances were, but we haven't talked about PSG guys and how good they were. Like Kvaratskhelia, you know, he was.
Oh yeah, Kava was
Again, for us, we're talking here and picking players of the game, and we're like, I didn't see a single player that did more than Kava did. Mm-hmm. He was the best player out there. Mm-hmm. And for some odd reason, Jazz, did you know they gave it to Pacho? Mm-hmm. Got player of the match.
not even Marquinhos.
Marquinhos.
You're giving
could've
credit
given
to
it
everybody
Dembele.
else besides Cava, by the way.
What's that?
You gave everybody credit besides Cava and while watching the game.
I gave him credit.
Not for like one thing.
You
You
didn't really give him
gave credit to Due more than you did to Cava.
And Bradley.
I was commentating on what was going on the
Here
game.
he goes.
So if Desiree Dewey comes up, he takes three guys and he shoots. I'm like, oh, look at that. Nice shot on goal. And you guys are like, oh, my God, that was so horrible. Like, Kava does more. I'm like, I'm talking about what's going on in the
He
game.
didn't
right
take
Look
out
at my
three
nose.
guys,
Look
by
at my
the
nose.
way.
Oh,
They
he
were
took three
behind
guys.
them. They were behind
They're
them.
They were
behind.
still behind them. He's like, come on, guys.
Look at
come
my
on.
nose, bro.
And the goalie, you know, had a nice diving catch, but after a save. But after we saw the replay, it was hit pretty much right to him, so it wasn't as hard as he made it look. But
The goalkeeper really made a meal out of most of the saves today.
yeah,
But
he was my second best player of the game.
I didn't think there was many players that I was
Impressed with it.
that were impressed.
Or
I
dominant.
thought João Neves and I think Cava were the two players that I thought were like outstanding. I'll say outstanding. I think
wouldn't
João
say
Neves
João
was
Neves
pretty good.
Was outstanding, but
He played really good, like what is it called, pressing and like getting the ball back, and like he was like Vitinha. I had no idea he played, but like João Neves, I felt like every time I saw But well, it wasn't like he was doing all
Zaire
kinds
Emery
of.
who was pressing, but
I know, but Zaire Emery really didn't get the ball back. He's got
Yeah, but he
got
made a-
bodied up like most of the game. But he was in there like making a fuss out of it. But Jean Neves, I felt like was the guy that took the ball away from players and was had his hand in the game. Like I always saw Jean Neves, and I was like, God, I really don't like that guy, but he's really a great
yeah.
midfielder.
And who you could have given the player of the game to was to Dembele. We always talk about big time players coming up and making the goals they're supposed to make. There's
Yeah.
people that they get that pass in the box and they just either blast it over the
Yeah.
goal. They don't get a good.
He had time too.
That was a
It like-
solid hit that no goalie was gonna
Oh no!
block that.
It was great to see Dembele, and shout out to Caleb. He mentioned before the game, he was like, Dembele's gonna win his second Ballon d'Or, and I think we all kind of scuffed at it, like, no way, But after this performance, like, how can you not? He cannot.
He's got to be up there.
Not
He's
be
gotta
one
be
of the top 3 players that you're like, how does he not be up there for? Because it's if France wins the World Cup and say he scores in every other game,
He's gonna get it.
he's gonna get it. And like, and Mbappe doesn't have this on his resume. Like he
Oh yeah, he'll
can't
be
say this,
no nowhere near. What about you, Jazz? Who's your player of the game?
My player of the game, I think you obviously have to give it to Cava. I think he,
Obviously.
yes,
yeah.
he created a bunch of chances for PSG, which they didn't really finish. Besides Dembele, he was dribbling through players. He was giving great passes. He never looked tired. He looked like he was barely in the game.
I remember
every time
I
you'd
told
see
you
him.
we saw him like 3/4 of the game, and it's like, man, that guy still looks fresh. He didn't have sweat. His eyes didn't look red, nothing. He was just like, all right. But yeah, he was the only one when the game started getting a little boring where nobody would have any chances created. It was always him that was dribbling through players and trying to get that assist. And like you said, they missed most of his assists except for the one Dembele hit in. But
Yeah, Kava was great, but like I said, PSG didn't play spectacularly. Just that coach is just making changes that I don't even notice. I don't notice, or I don't even think of making those changes and being like, oh, how about you try this? Like, I don't even think of doing this stuff that Luis Enrique is doing, and it's like, how does he see it like this? Like, and it's such simple things, and then when you see it, you're like, huh, that's genius. It makes perfect sense. But that's why. And I almost feel bad for Vincent Kompany. Like we see stuff and it's like, why don't you see it? Like, how do you not see it?
Let's see. So the biggest argument he had was, when he got interviewed at the end of the game was, oh, well, we didn't get that red card. It should have been a red card. Oh, it should have been a penalty. And, he wasn't like saying, oh, well, we could have done this to win. We could have done that. He was just talking about how he didn't get the calls.
Yeah, the injustice
in his
and
favor.
stuff. But it's like you should have done more than just rely on.
Yeah, I wish they would have asked him, like, hey,
Yeah.
how come you didn't sub out earlier than
I
you
mean,
did?
she probably didn't want to aggravate him. He's already
Oh,
lost.
yeah, did you
but-
see her face? She's like,
Yeah,
she already was. I told you she's looking at him like his dog died. But
yeah. I mean, yeah, these are the type of questions you want to be answered to. But Vincent Kompany had a chance to say you know what, the refs will call it one way or whatever, but you have to do something to kind of be like, okay, even if the refs are going to call it this way, you still have to make changes to yourself to give yourself, lucky breaks come to people that work really hard. And they didn't work hard enough to get those lucky breaks. Like they just did. It's like there's a saying I heard when I first started working is like, you're moving so fast that you're not moving anywhere. You're moving so fast that you're just literally doing this. And it almost felt like that's the way Bayern played. Like they were moving so fast but weren't moving at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's funny. I don't know what that was, but did you hear that?
yeah, I try to be professional and stay on topic. But let's talk about the controversies, because I think this is actually
All right.
the actual thing that actually went wrong for them. Is that in the first half, Nuno Mendes got a yellow for something that obviously he meant I think it was a strong play on the ball.
On
And-
Olise,
On
Yeah.
Olise,
the
he
wing.
didn't get the ball.
He just
hit him,
smashed him.
hit him in the ankle.
Yeah. So then he had a yellow, and then they had the ball back again, and then
Who? Go ahead. Me and Jazz will take
okay, you guys finish up then.
over. Just finish up.
Oh, okay. Well, Ralph and Jazz are going to talk about a little bit about the yellow card situation for Nuno Mendes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I'll be back.
Can we sub Bella in for Chuck?
So basically, the second yellow was that Nuno Mendes, he had a handball. He was like this. It looked like he slapped it on purpose, and it's just they didn't call anything for it.
Well, the whole thing was that they're saying that Lemire had a handball before that. But what pisses me off is that we're watching the halftime show, and they don't even show different angles of it. They're just, oh well, you didn't see the handball before, but okay, well, nobody saw it, nobody replayed it. The referee didn't go to VAR. That should have been something that was looked into because it was a deliberate handball, and it would have totally changed the game because you had Dembele, who would have had his second red card.
Nuno Mendes.
Second yellow. Oh, Nuno Mendes, sorry. Nuno
Jesus
Mendes,
Christ.
second yellow. He would have been out, red card. At that point, I think you're still up
1-0.
1-0, right? So with them playing with 10 men, and this was early, so it wasn't like...
This was like in the 20th minute, 30th minute.
Yeah, it was...
I think it should have been a red.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, you can't do that. I don't know what and it wasn't like Lemire's handball was like really bad. Like it was right here. Like it hit his thigh and his hand at the same time. That wouldn't have changed anything. It would have still just hit his thigh and gone down.
Supposedly, when you have your arm like that, if it hits your arm and you kind of do that motion, it usually they call it a handball. But he didn't call it a handball.
So why? So I think what the ref is trying to say is that it's not a handball because Lemire had a handball
Before that.
but the thing is he didn't call that handball as well.
Yeah.
So why is he bringing it up afterwards?
Because the thing is, whenever they go to VAR looks at the play before. Like if there's a penalty, and this has happened before,
They look to see if there's a
they
foul
look
beforehand.
to see if there's a foul before, and if there's a foul before, that penalty doesn't count. So it's the same thing here. They called supposedly a handball, and I'm fine with it if they called a handball, okay. But it just pisses me off that I didn't see a replay of a better angle.
The only angle was from behind, and you can't really see a handball. I think
No, because then they put the replay when Lemire kicks it, and you see him coming forward, and he kicks it, and Dembele does his handball.
Nuno Mendes.
Oh, why do I keep saying Dembele? So Nuno Mendes gets his handball, but they don't show. All they have to do is bring that same video. They got
A little bit
bring
back.
it back 3 seconds, and they'll see when Lemire hits the ball with his hand, allegedly. So that was one of the bad calls that they had.
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. Which one was that?
It was when I don't remember what PSG player. I think it was Marquinhos.
It was Marquinhos. Yes.
He tried kicking it out, and Joao Neves, right?
Yeah, Joao Neves
Joao
was in the
Neves
box.
was in the box, and he turns like this because he didn't want to get hit, and it hits his hand, and he's not in a natural position. I don't. According to the rules and UEFA, it is stated that if it's your own player, it does not count because you would not want to give a handball to your own team. And they also said a bunch of people were saying that it shouldn't count. One, because it's your team, but two, because it was accidental. But every handball is almost accidental always.
Yeah, nobody does a handball on purpose.
No.
Like we're talking about Alphonso Davies, he got a penalty that the ball hit off his thigh and then it hit his hand. His hand was right here. So, okay, it hit his hand. They called it a
But I
penalty.
feel like, yeah.
This guy, you say he turned away. He did not turn away. He turned towards. He went this way. Because when he hit the ball, he hit it like this going forward. So even if his team is trying to clear the ball out, you don't go with your hand up here forward. You should have your hand down. And
Well, I think he was trying to make sure it doesn't hit his face, But at the same time, it's weird because if you don't want to hit your face, you go like that,
Right, you go
Instead of
up
going like this, no, because like they kicked the ball out and he didn't want to, so he went like that and it hit his hand and the ref says no again. And to Bayern, there was 3 handballs, but I don't think the third one should have really counted. It didn't really look like a handball. I mean, it was a handball, but it was more natural than the other 2.
right. No, yeah, his hand was closer to his body. But yeah, those were the controversies on handballs. But those are the rules, I guess. I don't get it because if it's a handball, it's a handball.
I think
whoever hits it, it's a handball, right?
And people are saying that like a bunch of people are saying when it comes to other teams, it would be immediately a penalty. Like they always bring up Barcelona. They always say, "Oh, but if it was Cubarsi or Jard Martin, this would have been a penalty and a red." Like for example, let's say Nuno Mendes, instead of it was Barcelona, it would have been Balde. Balde does that. It would have been I think it would have been a second yellow for him. People always say that if it was another team, it would have been the same. And people are complaining about the ref. They didn't like his calls, and I think the calls were just weird. I think they were obviously in favor of PSG. I think because there was a bunch of fouls going on against Bayern.
What about the yellow he pulled on Stanisic for kicking the ball?
Well, it said that it can't be more than 5 meters away, but I think it's dumb. But I can kind of see why, because he called play, and after that, he kicked it out. Well, he didn't kick it out. He just kicked it, and it went off. And after that, they gave him a yellow. But it's just, I don't know, because I feel like PSG should have gotten a yellow for all that time they wasted when it came to the throw-ins.
Yeah.
Because they wasted like a whole minute just to throw in one ball during the game.
Right. And one of the other issues I have with Champions League is that we don't get enough extra minutes at the end of the game. It's like we have 2 minutes and 5 minutes. If this was like a Bundesliga, Premier League game, a La Liga game,
it would have been like 8 minutes.
You get 8-9 minutes, and in that time, like you said, PSG spent like 1 minute throwing the ball in. So when you only give them 4 minutes, and then you had the goal by Harry Kane, which was too late, but you had the goal. You're supposed to give more time because of that goal, at least another minute, which the ref didn't do that either. And then Marquinhos, of course, threw himself on the ground, but you can't penalize that. That's just something that happens. But the throw-ins, I do think you're right. They just spent way too much time, and they didn't get yellowed for it. They didn't get a yellow card for that.
I think this ref is just I think obviously he probably decided to give that advantage to PSG, because I feel like PSG should have gotten awarded more things against them. Like that penalty, possibly I think it should have been a penalty because of the way that situation was with Joao Neves. I think they should have gotten a red for that handball, because I don't know what the ref was saying about. I mean, it's a handball, but it's right here. It's better than this. Like, this is more natural than this. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that it just happens. But what we didn't want was to watch another Champions League game where the ref was making decisions that impacted the game. And now, instead of saying, you know what, PSG beat Bayern, and they beat them at home, and they beat them with no controversy, like nothing happened, but
there was
a lot of controversy, and the ref was it just seemed like he was reffing for one side and not just down the middle. So
like at the end, like you could tell that the Bayern players were frustrated with this ref. I mean, we have Harry Kane, who you could see he was probably yelling some stuff to the ref, and we also have Luis Diaz yelling it to the ref. You know, like these players.
Well, Luis Diaz got a yellow for arguing. And then when the game was over, Kimmich got a yellow for, going over and yelling at the ref,
but
too.
Kimmich is the captain. That's the problem. He shouldn't have gotten a yellow.
Oh, yeah, but this was after the game, so...
So why would he get a yellow?
Because he said something that the referee was like, no, here's the yellow, which is pointless. Like, he doesn't lose or win anything by getting that yellow. So, because they're out of the tournament, it doesn't matter anymore.
I'm pretty sure it goes on to the next year, though.
To the next year? I don't
Yeah, for example, if a player gets a red card in the Champions League final, I'm pretty sure it goes on to the first round that they play.
Oh, okay, but yellows don't.
Well, if you get a yellow in the first leg and yellow in the second leg, you can't play to the next round.
No, yes, but from this game,
Well,
they
yeah,
can't
that
transfer
wouldn't
that
go.
yellow card to the
No,
next
they wouldn't.
Champions League.
Yeah, but what do you think about what else is there to say about this game?
That was it. We just had to close out with the controversy. From my point of view, Kvaratskhelia was Kvaratskhelia, however they say.
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia, that's how they say it without the K.
I can't say that.
Yeah, Kvaratskhelia. But I thought he was the best player of the game. Even though you guys didn't think so, I thought PSG goalie, had a few good saves. So he was my
milking it.
He was my second choice for
Milking
player
it.
of the game. For Bayern, I don't think I saw anybody except Harry Kane who scored at the last minute that you could say he was probably the best player on that team.
I would say Luis Diaz was the best player.
Luis Diaz was for you. And I'm still sad that Carl didn't get subbed in until the 84th minute. But
I mean, from like the two plays he was there, you saw that he could have been dangerous if he played like 60th or 70th minute.
yeah, if you would have
He
given
could have
him
gotten a
20,
big chance.
25 minutes, he would have made a difference.
Well, Chuck, what do you think? Oh, he's gone.
He's
Never
gone.
mind. He's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, never mind.
So
Well-
that's it for this pod then?
I think it is.
All right. We'll see you at the next one.